Uh, I've been watching a lot of programs on Channel 28 this weekend, and I've been so proud of the other hosts and their guests. I saw Mr. Pritchett on a program this morning, and it was a very serious program. He was on Reverend Twinbee Brown's program, and they were talking about a movement that they're working with cooperatively. But there are also, several other people whose name, if Mr. Pritchett wanted to share that, he could mention it. But as long as Mr. Pritchett is involved in something like that, I know that I'm not trying to single him out for recognition, but I'm just saying I've seen the results of his work, so it's always encouraging when I find out that he's involved.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and go ahead, Mr. Pritchett.
I'm just going to say, everything I do is for you and Shaana.
I know that's right.
I'm definitely involved with the Upper Room. That's my main show.
All right.
I'm basically involved with helping Twin Brown and others. I think it was Betty Park and Dr. Townsend couldn't come today.
Okay.
And we also had Miss Willing, and the other one was Tyler Brooks.
Okay.
Basically trying to get the info out to the parents in terms of what's coming down the pike as it relates to their children in the 5 schools, particularly in the city of Wilmington. And I thought that was a great opportunity for us to talk about planning for this breakfast over at St. Paul's Church, and as well as the next forum over to Reverend Weeks Church. And then we want to come back and do a big forum with the, actually it would be a summit, like a teen summit, along with the parents. Talked about, we want to hear from them, old school, new school.
That's right.
Yeah, talk to people like you coming back, Zinga, to get her to come back, and others.
Oh, yeah.
Just to talk about, City Councilman Shabazz, Norman Oliver, and others. Just talk about what happened, what did we do right, what did we do wrong.
Right.
What the young people can tell us what we're doing wrong and things we need to do. So it's a nice dialogue. I think that's a great opportunity, going back to the 60s on back up to 2010.
2010.
Yeah. So.
When is this, Dr. Pritchett?
Well, actually, we're going to do, I think it was April the 3rd for the breakfast over to St. Paul's Church. I'll get that information to you. And then we want to come back and do another one. I think it's the 10th. With Reverend Weeks' church, again, getting back to what we started last Tuesday, talking about issues in our community and how we can best fix those issues and bring them to a point where the youngsters are definitely going to be a part of everything that we do.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose them, so we don't want to lose sight of that. But that's basically what we're trying to do, is to get the message out, where we know now that a lot of our schools are going to have new administrators. They will also have new teachers coming in, and so we want to make sure parents have input in terms of what's going on. And then this new testing piece is coming down the pike. The youngsters will be taking, starting next year, what they're going to do now is they're going to use a computer. And so we're going to start, I think, next month. We're going to start having some pilot programs where youngsters get an opportunity to use their computer and see how they do. They won't be graded on it, but it wouldn't count against them. But basically, they're going to get an opportunity to do the exam on a computer. I think our youngsters will do very well because we're pretty much computer literate anyway. And a lot of them involved with a lot of video games. This is strictly giving them an opportunity to focus on answering those questions, being able to put the X in the right area for the correct answer.
That's
I think we'll do very well on that.
I think that's extremely beneficial because as they progress in their education, other higher education exams are computer based.
Yes.
Whether it's the SATs or the GREs.
That's correct.
And I'll tell you, I had to take the GREs both paper based and computer based, and it's a difference, because I didn't grow up in a school where I had to do things on computer. I grew up with a piece of paper and scrap paper. And so when I had to take my GRE, and this was, when they first started having computer-based GREs, but it made a difference because I had practiced with paper, and then I went in and had to take it on a computer, and it just, for some reason, that dynamic just changed it.
Yes, it does.
So it's wonderful that they're going to get the opportunity to practice that before they have to take, tests that are going to allow them to continue their education.
I think they're going to do a lot better. I really do.
And those type of things are time sensitive, and a lot of times it won't let you back out and then come back in. So once it's going live, that's the real deal. So it makes a lot of sense to give them an opportunity to get acclimated. The other thing you mentioned, I was sitting here and I was smiling because you had this thing you mentioned about how the old school and the new school.
Yes.
From the 60s coming up to 2010.
Right.
And I think that is, I'm not trying to be gushy, but brilliant as a formula, because there was something that did work. There was something that did work, and I know in my generation, not that I turned out perfect. So those of you at home, stop going like this. But anyway, it did work. It gave me a level of self-respect and gave me an opportunity to get engaged.
Yes.
So something was working, and then something happened that it wasn't working so well, and getting the young people to be able to participate, because most people don't like other people telling them what to do and how to do it without even there being a part of that decision-making process.
Yes,
and that might be the problem. One of the problems is talking at people instead of with people.
With people, yes.
So just so I understand, Dr. Pritchett, you're going to have students from now and all past decades there?
Yes.
That is wonderful, because I think that the students that are in school now will have the opportunity to see people like Michael and Zinga and other people and say, oh, this is what it's going to look like 20 years from now if I stay on this path.
Yes.
And they know that the same people who helped Michael and the other past students arrive at the person they are today are standing there right in front of them.
Yes.
Right. Like thinking back to my own, I keep bringing it back to me, don't I?
It's all right. You're
But
part of this.
I don't have anyone like that. All the teachers that I can look back on and say, you helped me, Miss Taylor, you helped me, Mr. Anderson.
Right.
I have no way of finding them and speaking with them. That's wonderful.
Because you moved around
We moved around a lot.
Yes.
So trust me, I've tried.
Right.
I've emailed strangers on Facebook, are you the Diana Taylor from Los Angeles, California? And they're like, no, it's not me.
But honestly, Shaana and Mr. Pritchett, I was watching Tehillah Time, which is Bishop Morton's program.
Oh, okay.
I think it was last Sunday when I was watching it, and she said something that was very relevant, how we have resources right here in Wilmington. Talking to you at home, too. We have resources here, valuable resources, in the form of human beings. We will go way to Timbuktu, get somebody, pay them extraordinary amounts of money, bring them back here, and then have them address our local issues. And Bishop Morton was like pointing out that fact, and I know what she meant. I don't have to recount everything, but I know what she was getting at when she said that, and it's true. We have some powerful people. She's one of them, and I want you to know that, Bishop. Bishop, you are one of my role models and an inspiration to me, and a resource.
Same here.
You know what I mean? And B.B. Coker and so many more. We're not even going to go down the whole line, but they know who they are.
Right.
But that's my whole point. My whole point is this is a grassroots thing that's being spearheaded by local folks for a local problem with local people. I'm done. I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, not at all.
That's a good point.
Not at all.
Very good point.
Well, this is not the end. We're going to hear more about this with our formal segment on the road with Dr. Pritchett.
Yeah, this is just the opening,
This
y'all.
is just the opening. It's 15 minutes in, and we're just chatting. I was going to ask you, yesterday was the first day of spring. Did you go to Rita's by any chance? Do you do that? Do you go to Rita's to get the free water ice on the first day of spring?
You know what? I had an opportunity. One of my great friends out there, Allie, she invited me to go, but I was with my family, and we didn't make it to Rita's yesterday.
How about you? Did you get a water ice yesterday for free?
No, I didn't.
This is the first year in, I think, several years that I have not gone.
You didn't get one
I
either?
did not get one.
Hey, Rita, we want our water ice a day later.
And then the funny thing is when I was driving today, I saw the line was longer than it was yesterday when they were free.
That's why the line was so long. I saw that.
They were really long
Coming
yesterday.
to Kirkwood Highway, I saw that.
No.